your time in the WNT camp. This is your first camp in, but from the Futures camp, tell me about that experience and like that call-up.
Yeah, I think it was super nice to be part of the Futures as kind of like an ease into this, and getting to know Emma and the staff made it a lot easier to come into this camp a little more comfortable, because of course there's some big names, there's some big players here, and it's obviously a little intimidating, but being part of that Futures camp was great to like get a nice little introduction into it.
Emma said that she has a pool of players that she really wants to see like tested, and this is the opportunity to do that. So like what's the mindset of like preparing for not being like overly anxious, but like into like the going from the club level to the national level?
Yeah, I think it's really good to speak to other players. Personally, I'm making sure that I'm making connections off the field, because then it makes it a little bit easier on the field to like not be as nervous. But I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just getting to know the girls, and it makes it a little bit easier when I have questions to go up and ask them and feel less intimidated by all the great players here.
We're coming up on Japan, Australia. This is Colombia's first time in the She Believes tournament, but it's an opponent we know well, and like teams we know well. What's the plan or like mentality going into these next games?
Yeah, I think the mentality is, we know we have a target on our back as being the 6-time defending champions of the She Believes Cup, and I think it's super important that we make sure we stick to our tactics, stick to who we are, and making sure that we execute our game plans, and that'll make the games and the tournaments a lot easier.
She Believes was based on inspiring youth, like the young fans, and creating that bond. You're a part of Kansas City Current, also just trailblazing through, kind of just setting the bar for women's sports. This is all happening in parallel with like WNBA taking off.
Yep.
Why is it so important that girls are playing sports?
I think it's really important because it gives them like a power, like a superpower, and from their everyday life of school or from work, like it's a nice little escape. And for some of us, we are lucky enough that our escape is our full-time job, and knowing that, I hope that it inspires youth to like continue to keep playing and fight through the challenges and the ups and downs of soccer.
What's the biggest challenge of moving up to this level and preparing for competition at this level?
Yep, I mean, the jump from college to pro was obviously a lot with the speed and the pace, and I think from the jump from pro to here is the same thing, the speed, the pace, the understanding, and making sure that I pick up on things quickly, because we move really fast here. Camps aren't very long, and making sure that you pick those things up and execute them.
How nice is it to have a coach like Emma that really is focused on developing young talent and giving you women a chance to like compete at this level and not just wait for your turn?
100%. Yeah, I think it's so nice. I was talking to Claire about it, and I'm super glad that we get to share this experience, because we both are super happy that Emma's investing in the youth and making sure that we close the gap between the full team and like the U23s and all the youth teams underneath that, and making sure we're all on the same slate.
Do you take that kind of responsibility pretty seriously to be able to kind of
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think it's good to be part of that journey and showing that it is going to be worth it, closing the gap and making sure that the pool is big enough to bring some competition in.
I know obviously you're very excited about this opportunity, but are there challenges with this, and is there anything that's the most challenging?
100% there's challenges. I think, just like I said, making connections, because we're in a tournament, it's super important that we have these connections so we can win games, play well on the field, and I think with the time crunch of it all, it's a little intimidating, but the girls are making the job super easy, and I think that would be the biggest thing for me.
You mentioned Claire, and I'm sure it's great to have someone kind of in your same boat.
Yep.
But has there been any of the older women that have helped you and really kind of took you under their wing to help this week?
I mean, not yet, but with that being said, I am being pretty reserved and pretty to myself, kind of just watching and learning, and I think just simply watching is a great way to learn from them, and they're being great role models, which is something to better help me understand how to function through camp.
So just being around them.
Yeah,
is like,
literally, that's plenty.